Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Figile Mavuso, and not recently, but I moved back to Taiwan a year ago after have lived here before, and today I'm just super excited to share my journey. It's been quite a journey. It's only been a year since I've been back, but I'm going to share my experience and also share some things that you guys should look out for before moving here, things that you should consider that will help you decide if this is what you really want to do. Let's get right into it. So, we are having a typhoon today. Yeah, before you move to Taiwan, you need to be aware of typhoons. We are having a typhoon holiday. It's been happening since yesterday and today. So I decided to just shoot this video and just talk about a few things. I will be looking down on my phone because I made a few notes about what I want to talk about. So first things first, why I came back. So why Taiwan again, right? So some of you may know, some of you may not. I don't think I've really discussed this into detail before, but I did live here before from 2017 to 2019, where I was doing my master's degree in chemistry. And then in 2019, I had to return home. At the time, I wasn't really sure if I was going to return or not, but that was just, I needed a break, from Taiwan and everything. And I went home. While I was home, COVID-19 happened, the whole lockdown situation happened. So I was like, you know what, actually I've always wanted to work in my industry. So after I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I actually worked briefly, and then I was like, okay, maybe I should try something else. Also at the time I was working hectic shifts, so when I got the opportunity to study with a scholarship overseas, I grabbed it with both hands. So yeah, after that, when I was after coming here, so I had briefly worked in my field, right, chemistry, where I was working as a chemical analyst, and then I moved to Taiwan to do my master's, moved back home for a while for a break, or I thought, and then COVID-19 happened, and then so I was stuck in the lockdown, whatever. At the time, it was not a good time to come back. It did not make sense. I mean, everyone was basically running away from China, anything Asian, any country that is Asian, right? So my family was like, okay, you cannot move back. It just doesn't make sense right now. It's not safe for you. So that's how I ended up, at home. While I was at home, I worked in my industry again, and yeah, I was quite happy, and I was making decent money. And then just while I was working there, it did not make sense to me. What did not make sense to me was the money that I was earning and the cost of living. I felt like I was just like living from hand to mouth every month. So I also wanted a challenge. I wanted something more. I think I've always wanted something more from life, and I felt like, okay, in Taiwan I experienced traveling, I experienced other cultures. I also made decent amount of money, because I think it feels pointless if you're going to earn and not being able to save, you know what I mean? So that's the main thing. Another thing that made me move back was quality of life. In as much as I was earning and I was working, I felt like the quality of life, if I'm just going to go from work to home, then what is that? I'm not able to save, I'm not able to travel, I'm not able to do anything other than pay my bills, go to work. So I did not have enough time to do other things that I love, because I believe there's more to us than just your job. You know what I mean? Also, I was working shifts. I think lab work, one down like con or like disadvantage about it is the fact that most of the time when you're working in a laboratory, you work shifts. So I would have to work night shift, I would have to work weekends sometimes. Also sometimes I'd have to work at night, in the evening, in the afternoon. So there was no structure. I know that other people prefer it like that. It works for them, but it did not work for me. So the reasons that made me move here. Before I moved here, I had a plan. I still have a plan, a vision of what I want to do, how long I want to be out here. And it made sense to me when I just calculated all the risks and the benefits. It made sense to me. Hence, I moved back. So that's number one. And then things you need to consider before moving, as a person who's still in the application process, who wants to come here and teach, or who wants to come here and study, because there are opportunities to study here. You need to consider the cost of living, because things can be very expensive in Taiwan. I'm not sure if, I think I covered like a grocery shopping video. I did that, but things can be quite costly in Taiwan if you are not very careful about your planning and everything. So you need to consider that. You need to do your research about that. If you guys want me to do a video on that, I can do that. Let me know in the comment section. Also, you need to consider the language barrier. We are in an Asian country where most of the time, 95%, I can even say 100 sometimes, there is no English. So it's hard to navigate. You will firstly struggle with the language, so you need to have your apps ready that will help you, like your Google Translate and other things, because most people simply do not speak English. Also, you will look different. You are maybe another race, you are not Asian, so people will look at you differently. Not discriminate in a sense, but you will stand out in a crowd. So you need to be ready for that you might get stares here and there. You might feel different. It's not like in your home country where everyone looks like you. So you need to consider that. I think when I came back, I had forgotten that. I knew obviously that I'd be different and all of that, the language. And by the time I left Taiwan, my Chinese was actually good. Not that great, but I could navigate and survive. But coming back, my Chinese had faded. I had forgotten a lot of things. So coming back, it was really hard to it still is. Like, if sometimes I get calls from random numbers and they speak to me and I can tell it's important information, but we can't really converse because of the language barrier. So those are some of the things that you need to consider and just see if you are comfortable with. There's also cultural differences. Obviously, there are things here that will shock you that don't happen in your home country. So many culture shocks, such as, there are so many things. I think I would have to do a separate video about that, but those are things you need to consider. It is an Asian country, so just be ready for those type of things and just ask yourself the question, are you ready for that? Are you willing to live in a country where you'll be shocked sometimes? I'm sorry if you hear some sort of noise. It's my fridge making that noise. Thing that I need to emphasize, like I said earlier, when I moved to Taiwan, I had a plan. I knew why I was moving to Taiwan. I had a vision board. I often just take that vision board and re-edit it and add new things that I want to do. But coming here, I had a plan. I had a duration of the time I want to spend here. It's okay if you want to spend 3 years, 4 years. You are probably here to build something back at home, or you are here to save for something, or you want to work and study, or you're just here for traveling, or you're just here to explore other cultures. That's okay, but you need to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you will get here and feel unfulfilled sometimes, because you are like, okay, why am I even here? You need to have a plan and know why you are here and set goals for yourselves, so that that can keep you going, that can keep you focused. All right. I can say for me, moving to Taiwan has been really life-changing. It's the best decision that I made in 2023. It wasn't a best decision. It wasn't an easy decision, sorry, because I have a son. My son is still very young. He's only 2. So the first time I came here, it was like, okay, I don't even have a child. I don't even have, you know, like I don't even have a responsibility, if I may, although obviously my family is my responsibility, but it has been hard now that I have a son. However, I don't miss much about home. I don't miss the country state, and the things that we just experience back at home. Taiwan is quite safe. It's safe. It's convenient. I'm able to do things that I want to do, and also I've just loved teaching, and I've fallen in love with it, and it works for me. And I have the plan that I know it's okay, after so many years, this is what I want to do. So it does not feel like I'm wasting time. I feel oftentimes if you don't have a plan, or if you didn't even study education, it's going to be hard for you, because you will get here and teach, and years go by, and maybe you feel like isi vehicle is on a standstill, because you are not adding experience to what you studied. But for a person who did not study education, who's teaching right now and has a plan on why they are doing this and what they want to achieve from this, it's working great for me. So those are some of the things that you should look into. And yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them in the comment section. I just thought of this video while I was at an African concert recently, and we had a brief discussion with people about this. So yeah, and if you haven't checked out that video, just scroll down. It's the second last video before this one. So yeah, go ahead and check it out, and comment any question that you have, or anything that you think that we spoke about today. I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.